Hey guys, how are we doing, and how have you been? It's been a little bit since we've done some videos. Technical difficulties. If you follow the channel, you kind of know a little bit. I made a post on the community tab. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. Come join Dragon Rider Games for the best online practice. But guys, regionals are back. In real life play is back, so that means it is tier list time. April 2022. What are the best decks? Also stay tuned. Wednesday I'm planning on dropping a video where we try to cover all of the top 8 decks in a breakdown, not like deck lists, but just deck names, which decks are topping the most, which ones are winning the most, everything like that. We'll do it throughout the format and continue to grow the chart as we go. I have 43 of the 56 USA only, unfortunately, just because it's easy for me to access those. If you have outside of USA top 8s and you want, feel free to let me know and I will mention them still. However, if you know any of the regionals top 8s, comment down below. What are they? I know I'm missing pretty much all of Arizona. I heard there was 2 prank kids. I didn't hear which positions they were. Otherwise I'm missing 6. And at this time Las Vegas is just finishing up, so of course we do not know the top 8 there. Otherwise, the Kissimmee regional, I only need 8th place. Indianapolis, I'm missing 2 decks, not sure which places. And Lubbock, Texas, I'm missing 7th place. Otherwise we have the entire Fargo and Philly one at this moment of recording. Tomorrow I'm going to do some more research and try to find them. Without further ado, which decks belong where? I'm going to kind of shuffle these up a little bit because I was just curious before and went through here a little bit to see how things would look, and I didn't realize they just come off in order then. So Fluffles, where are Fluffles and why are we talking about Fluffles? Well, they topped a regional, sneak peek, little hint, haha, things like that. However, topping 1 regional so far, I'm not ready to put them up too high. I am going to put Fluffle in Rogue. If you're new to my tier list, I like to kind of pick 20 decks and then go with it from there. This is the first time I'm putting this whole 0.5 thing in here. Never really been the biggest fan of it, but I feel like the tier 1 decks I was going to put, there is a little distinction between them. And you guys hate when I go 1, 2, 3 Rogue, so I'm doing this for the people. Sword Soul. This is not like the 2 or 3 card engine that is put into Tenyi Brave. This is actually like the Sword Soul strategy, which is actually not seeing a whole lot of play. I do still think it's a good tier 2 deck, but it's just kind of being outpaced by other decks. Drytron still seeing a little bit of play, believe it or not, and still seeing a little bit of success, believe it or not, post EVA ban. Another good tier 2 deck. Dinosaurs going second, Powerhouse, right? No, this is actually an FTK, where maybe we'll get the deck list combo and all that up on the video or on the channel if you guys would like. Let me know down below. But yeah, Dino FTK, kind of like Fluffles. I want to see it do a little bit more before we put it any higher. We're going to leave it down at Rogue. So here we're using the Water Enchantress to represent Based. Based is like Brave, Adventure, Dragon, Enforcer, DP, just everything like crammed into one. Even playing like the Punk sometime, Eldritch sometime. Like, it's pretty much just engine deck. This deck is scary good. It's really strong. We've seen people like Pauly pilot it to a YCS win. We have seen it, you know, doing really well in Dragon Rider tournaments. We've seen it, well, hint hint again, took down a regional this past weekend. It is a very good tier 1 deck. Tenyi Brave. So this is the one where it's like a 3-card Sword Soul engine. Where am I gonna put this deck? You know, I'm kind of conflicted on it. I don't think it's quite good enough to go up to 1.5. I'm gonna leave it as a tier 2 as well, but I do think there's a distinction here between the two, and I think the Tenyi Brave one is the better. I'm not gonna go 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5 Rogue. We're just getting too many at that time, but there is a distinction. There's gonna be like a handful of tier 2 decks that are gonna be the better, and you'll kind of know as we go. Sky Striker being the next one. This one also, it's going to be one of those better half of the tier 2. Being able to place so many hand traps is really good for the deck. It can take advantage of DPE. I've seen people play it with the Brave stuff, the Adventurer package, whatever you want to call it. Personally, I don't think that engine should get crammed into everything, but it is. And like certain decks do it really well. Sky Striker, I don't know. I've never lost to Adventurer Sky Striker. I just find that it makes the deck, I don't know, not as good. So I don't think Sky Striker is a deck that should be playing the Adventurer package, which brings us on to our next deck, Eldritch. Tier 1. There's so many ways to play Eldritch too, like Cybers Eldritch, Punk Eldritch, Adventure Eldritch, just straight up Trap Eldritch. Like the deck's just really good and everything that it does. It doesn't need the extra deck, so it avoids stuff like the Scythe Lock. Just Eldritch is in a really good spot right now. Cyber Dragons. It wouldn't be my channel if I didn't mention Cyber Dragons. People would throw rocks, riot, do everything, burn the channel down if I didn't mention Cyber Dragon. Unfortunately, I can't put them any higher than Rogue right now. The deck is decent, and in the right hands on the right day, the deck can do really good, but consistently this is not a deck that you're going to be seeing topping these events. Floowandereeze, probably my least favorite deck to play against. I don't think it's quite where like Eldritch and Based are though, so this will be one of our 1.5 decks. Like I said, kind of new to doing this. I'd normally just put it up in tier 1, but I do want to make that distinction, and I do think Flow is going to go and be comfortably at that 1.5. Likewise, I think PK is right there with it. We've seen PK kind of get a dip off in play, especially with Based coming out and being like this deck that just emerged and became really popular. PK was expected by so many to be like this powerhouse deck, and I think people just got really ready for it, and then Based came out and those people got creative with other decks, and that's why PK just sees less play than we initially thought it would. But the deck is still really good, and I do want to put it as a tier 1.5 deck. This is one of those decks that takes advantage of the Adventurer package very, very well. Virtual World. This one's another flexible one. Ooh, making a little noise there. Whether you want to play it in a pure sense, with Adventurer, with Punk, with different things like that, I think that Virtual World is a pretty strong tier 2 deck. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it with the better half or the lesser half of tier 2 quite just yet, but it is going to be one of our tier 2 decks. Tri-Brigades really just kind of seem to fall off. I'm going to actually put Tri-Brigade as Rogue until they start doing something. I don't know. I feel like they're missing something, and maybe it's just the representation and people not playing it, but they're not that great of a deck at this moment. Mech Knights, this is a deck that I'm actually playing in our 10 match testing series, which if you're new to the channel, I've done one episode of Cyber Dragon. In my free time playing ranked matches on Dueling Book, 10 matches with the deck as I learn the deck, come out with my final deck list, share the deck list, pros, cons of the deck, how my matchups went, overall record, things like that. It's just a fun little series to do in my free time. I'm currently halfway through my matches with Mech Knight. Dragon Link, this is another deck that I'm going to put tier 2. Adventure Dragon Link is actually a thing. I've seen people doing well with just straight up Dragon Link. The deck's just, dragons have so much generic support. I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. Plunder Patrol. This deck is fun to play against-ish. It's kind of got a little learning curve to it, but I do think it's actually a pretty decent tier 2 deck. I'm going to put it right behind Virtual World. But like Plunder, I wouldn't be surprised to see creep up closer to the front of tier 2. I don't see it going any higher. I don't think it's going to contest with the tier 1 strategies. Normal Summon Alistair, deck's good. You see it all the time everywhere. Like, it's in any event, you're going to see it somewhere near you, whether it makes it to the top 8 or not. Maybe not every event, so that's why we're going to bump it down to tier 2. However, this is a deck that can just come out of nowhere and win an event pretty easily, because the deck's just really good. I think people are just tired of normal Alistair and playing other decks, so the representation's just not quite as good. Altergeist, another fun little trap deck. I didn't want the Eldritch to be pretty much the only one here, so we're going to talk about one that is, well, not as good. We're going to drop Altergeist down here. It's a pretty decent rogue deck, and I mean, that's really all there is to say about it. It's a good rogue deck. Like, Altergeist, there's a few players who are like diehard Geist players who might play it. Other than that, you're probably not going to see it very often. Prank Kids, this deck with the adventure package got so good. Tier 1, like, just wait for the video Wednesday, guys. This deck is going to surprise you with how it's been doing, and it surprised me a lot. I talked to a few people already too. Like, I knew the deck was good. I had the deck at tier 1 like expected for March. I didn't do a tier list, but like talking to people, I was like, this is one of the best 3-4 decks. It's going to be really good. But I didn't realize how good this deck ended up being. Like, Prank Kids are just really, really good. Speaking of learning curves, DDs, that's another deck that, like, honestly, I'm not going to try and say what they do because I'm not well versed in it, and I didn't start to try to learn it too much. But like, a good pilot with this deck, if they take the time to learn it from what I understand and have seen, like Pack, and I can't think of the guy's name, Jacked yugioh, I believe, or the DD God, he, like, players like this, when they take the time and they learn the deck, like, you can expect them to top an event with it. Like, the deck's just pretty good overall, and I'm definitely going to spend some more time looking into it. However, guys, what do you think about my tier list? Where needs to go up? Where needs to go down? If I did not mention it, you can throw it into rogue or just bad decks. Take your pick what you want to do. Would you move anything up, down, all around? Let me know down below. Again, if you like the channel, if you like the video, hit the subscribe button. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching.